Hey, what's going on? Luke here, and I'm just here to do a quick video talking about the North Queensland Cowboys in 2023. Now, in 2022, like many, I said that the Cowboys would come last, or they'd be in amongst the talk for coming last. And I feel like a lot of the times, I'm not very correct with a lot of that sort of stuff. I'm wrong a lot of the times, and I was definitely wrong about this one. The Cowboys nearly made it to the grand final. Definitely looked like a team who was capable of winning the grand final, which led to the discussion going into 2023 with teams like Penrith losing lots of players, and a few other ones. Roosters, they've signed a couple of players, but can they do it on the park? All these question marks about some other sides. There were no question marks about the North Queensland Cowboys. It was like, all right, they've got basically the same side. All these youngsters have got another year under their belt. They look like they're going to be fantastic. And that is definitely not being the case in 2023. We've seen the Panthers be able to rebound. We've seen the Roosters struggle. We've seen the Sharks sort of, be hot and cold as well. Rabbit has gone down a little bit. But I feel like a side, as well as Parramatta as well. I should mention Parramatta. But I think we all knew that was going to happen when we saw Reed Mahoney going. The Cowboys, in my opinion, have zero reason to be playing as bad as what they are. And you've got a team like the Broncos who've made a few signings here and there, but they've gone to another level. Meanwhile, their Queensland counterparts, the Cowboys, were the ones who were highly talked about going into 2023. I definitely had them in amongst the top four going into this year, so maybe I'm just a kiss of death for this one. But with the Cowboys, they're so hard to figure out because I can't sit here and be like, hey, this is the reason that they're losing. It just feels like all over the park, they're just not doing their job. And I don't know if they're not using Taumalolo as much. I feel like he's really gone down a notch or two, in my opinion. I know there's probably going to be a lot of people who out there and saying, well, he's been losing it for the last couple of years, but he's on a huge contract. And I was always one of the people who always said, Taumalolo, he's not like your typical 13 or whatever, but he's still a very good 13. He's still a fantastic player. They just need to utilize him. But it just feels like they don't really know what to do with him. Like I feel like at this point, you maybe just play him in the front row. I don't really know. But just in terms of the Cowboys as a whole, they haven't lost anybody. There's no real reason for them. In terms of, Parramatta, for example, Josh Hodgson's come in. He's over the hill. They're replacing Reed Mahoney, who was on the cusp of playing for State of Origin, for Queensland, I should say. We've seen his influence at the Bulldogs already. He's already their captain. The kicking ability, the running ability, the pass, got the best pass in the game. Reed Mahoney was definitely going to be a loss. And then add in all the other injuries that they had in the second row. Madison missed the first couple of weeks out of suspension. Sean Lang got injured very early on. There's a reason that the Eels are sort of struggling. It's not like a thing we're looking at. We're going, oh, geez, I don't know why the Eels aren't going good this year. We all knew it. We all knew they were going to drop off. Whereas the Cowboys, I thought they were going to sort of take it to another level, and they've taken it down a couple levels, which is very worrying if you're a Cowboys fan. Don't want to say too early on in the season. It is still very early on, but last year they had all this momentum, went into Origin. A lot of the boys went and played for Queensland. They obviously got the win. They came back full of confidence, and obviously they nearly made it to the grand final. Whereas this year, I don't feel it. It kind of feels like the Dolphins this year. Cowboys last year feel like the Dolphins this year, where you're like, oh, they're playing well. I can't wait for them to, not can't wait, but I'm expecting them to drop off, and then they just don't drop off. Could be a Wayne Bennett factor there. But that's what the Dolphins feel like this year, kind of similar to the Cowboys last year, whereas the actual Cowboys this year they're not there. They're just not there. You think their spine, obviously Drinkwater has been missing, but even when he's played, they haven't really looked fantastic. I mean, let's just even take a look at their actual draw. They beat the Raiders by 1 point, which at the start of the season with the Raiders, you would have said, oh, they'll absolutely annihilate them. And they looked like they were going at 1 point. It's a home game as well. They end up winning by a field goal, which is kind of embarrassing. Then you got a loss to the Broncos, which I think now it's not really embarrassing. They have lost to the Warriors at home, which the Warriors are playing fantastic, but a team that travels is not generally the Warriors, especially going to Townsville. Should be winning that one. They got a win over the Titans, so you thought, all right, here we go. They're sort of back to their best, maybe, I guess. Then they lost to the Bulldogs by 1 point, where they played absolutely abysmal. Led the game mostly, but didn't actually look like a side that was capable of playing any decent footy, and they lost because of it. Then they got towed up by the Dolphins. So they've lost to the Broncos, they've lost to the Dolphins. There's no one they can really bring in. It's not like, they've got Taumalolo to come back, or, Ruben Cotter's got to come back, or, all these players. It's not like they've got all these big guns come in. Drinkwater's just come back in, and they still lost. I really don't know where the Cowboys go to from here, because like I said, I thought they were going to be a top four side, maybe even pushing for a premiership, and here we are talking about them being a possibility, even making the 8. It just Very weird this season. I mean, they're not the only side who's struggling. I mean, look at the top 8 right now. It's Broncos, Panthers, Storm, Dolphins, Warriors, Titans, Roosters, Knights. The Knights are in the top 8, despite not looking like a very good side. You got teams outside the 8. Manly, who I nearly did a video on myself. You got the Rabbitohs, Bulldogs, Sharks in 13th. The Sharks in 13th. The Sharks have looked good, really good at times. And they find themselves in 13th spot. It's just because it's so early on in the season. Raiders are there as well, Eels. The big problem I feel like for the Cowboys compared to, say, like the Sharks is I think the Sharks can get back to where they can get on the right trajectory. They've been missing Nico Hines, been taking on some good sides. The Cowboys have been getting beat by, no offense, like teams like the Warriors and the Dolphins and all those sort of ones. The Bulldogs, they've been losing those sort of games. They've been losing to the upper echelon sides. Well, they have as well, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they've been taking on all the big guns, which the Sharks have. So I don't know. And also for the Sharks too, like I said, Nico Hines coming back into the side, finding his feet again. I think they've got, they're on the right track. They will be on the right track, I should say. Whereas the Cowboys, they've been losing at home. Usually that's their bread and butter. At least win at home, and they haven't been doing that. So I don't know. Chatty Townsend went up there, had a good year last year. I don't know if he's going to be a problem long term. I mean, a lot of the talk over their results from last year in terms of them, coming last and that sort of stuff. A lot of the talk was around the halves. Now, Tommy Dearden had a very, very good year. Can he back it up? Can Chad Townsend back it up? Reece Robson as well, Drinkwater. Even like there's a lot of question marks over guys who sort of came out of nowhere in a sense, or definitely their form increased dramatically. It's just whether they can, is it form or is it actually class? I don't know. But guys, let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts of the North Queensland Cowboys? Do you think they're in trouble this year? Because I personally, like I said, based on this video, I definitely think they're in trouble. So, guys, let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts of the Cowboys so far in 2023? And I'm just going to wrap things up here. Hopefully you did enjoy that one. Maybe not Cowboys fans, but hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure you use the notification bell. Don't rely on the sub boxes. Use the notification bell and never miss any of my videos. Also, chuck me a follow on social media. Seeing it on the screen right now, it's Mr. Luke on YT. I was going to say for the most part, I'll get used to that eventually, but just Mr. Luke on YT. Most of you use Instagram. Give me a follow on Instagram. You know you want to. Maybe even add me on Snapchat. Who knows? But there you go. That's my social medias. Also, go ahead and become a member. It's really important in terms of streaming, but also just supporting the channel. I'm seeing all the people on the screen right now are members. So shout out to everybody who's a member. Shout out to everybody who's super chatted as well. Once again, it helps out the channel massively. So shout out to you. Thank you to everybody who's become a member recently. And I'm going to wrap things up here. Stay tuned for more content on the channel, more streams. And I'll see you in the next one. See yous.